talk for a minute about the importance of someone editing your work, your writing, talking to writers, maybe other artists as well. I was on Twitter the other day, and there's a whole writers of Twitter. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of really good writers there, and a lot of, if you're not on it, a lot of good information. It's a good connection to other writers. But there was this conversation going about people who don't use editors. And some people were like, what, are you crazy? I mean, you have to, what do you mean? You can't just trust yourself to, you're too close to your work. At some point, you need to have somebody else look at it. And there are all kinds of cool suggestions, like, be in a group where people read your work and you get feedback. So that's big picture developmental editing, big picture. Some people call it story editing. I call it developmental editing. It's also called structural editing. And groups can do that, show you where there's holes in your story meaning short, long, fiction, nonfiction, creative nonfiction. Can show you, where something's not moving smoothly or where something needs to be cut. They can give you some structural advice, absolutely. So that then when you show it to a developmental editor, you're much further along. Because developmental editors are professionals at doing that kind of analysis and examination. And same with copy editing. Somebody said, well, I've learned as much as I can about it. I've taken classes on editing and I edit other people's work, not for money, just for, this is on the Twitter feed. And great idea, absolutely. So that when you hand your work to a copy editor in the last stage, a professional copy editor, your work is much cleaner and it's not going to cost so much. I think a lot of the people were saying it's just too expensive. It's hugely expensive. Can't afford it. And I'm like, how trashy is the draft that you're handing the editor that it costs that much? Or who are you using? Are they like charging too much? So I just not going to go on about this. I'm just going to say, I'm an editor. I've been an editor for a bazillion years, developmental, copy, all kinds of stuff. I edit business books and company newsletters and do developmental editing of business books, of fiction, of memoir. I'm also a writer, a published writer. I just finished writing a memoir. Am I going to publish that and I'm self-publishing it? Am I going to do that without having a copy editor go through it? No, that's not happening. And I had beta readers look at it as well. I was going to hire a developmental editor. All along, I thought I would. And then I realized I didn't need that. I was able to switch hats between writer and developmental editor. I worked on the book for 2.5 years. It's how it's going to be. But copy editor, absolutely. And if a good copy editor will see, see problems like, wait a minute, this belongs over here. So they kind of overlap a little. Absolutely, I will use a copy editor, even though that's what I've done professionally for ages. So I just want to encourage you, learn as much as you can, use groups and friends and get your copy as clean and tight as you can. And then hire a professional and interview. You're hiring someone, okay? You're an employer, you're not a boss. You're gonna work together. So hire someone that's the attitude, that you work together. You don't want somebody who's going to rewrite your copy, which has happened to me from magazines. And that's like, no. Copy editor does not rewrite your copy. So you want someone who you can work with well. So get recommendations, look around, look at ads, whatever, and then interview your editor and find out if you're on the same page and get an estimate. What I do is I do an hour for developmental editing. I'll do an hour's worth of work and then figure how long it's going to take. And we'll point out the kinds of things I'm seeing. And we do a chat and we'll just see if we connect. There's a lot of good folks out there. You just have to connect with the right one. And copy editing, same thing. I ask her a sample, a couple pages, see what they say, and see if you are on the same page about what you're looking for. So that's my suggestion. Don't just not do it. Wow, you need a professional editor, different kinds. Choose what level of editing you want, and then seriously do a search and interview and find the person that you want working with you. That's my advice for today. My name is Pam Sorellis of Winged Horse Writing Studio, and I help writers lift their voices. Talk to you soon.